Okay, a couple years ago I watched a Code Parade video and I wrote down a bunch of ideas that I had based on that video with the intent of in the future I'd either make a video on it or actually develop them and then show them off like Code Parade does. Um, and now fast forward to present day, Code Parade is done with Hyperbolica and it seems like he's awaking from his slumber and I'm worried he's gonna beat me to my ideas. I mean, not actually, I just want to get them out there. Um, but that's what this video is. And fair warning, there's a lot of voiceovers, and I deliver all of them with varying levels of enthusiasm. So it's kind of all over. But that's what this is. Enjoy. Most of these ideas stem from a video that Code Parade made a couple of years ago on his Non-Euclidean engine. And I don't know if Non-Euclidean is the right word for this topic, because that's more talking about like curved geometry. This is the part I'm interested in is the layering of space, and when he has that part where he walks through the 4-room building but it actually has 6 rooms. And if that sounds weird, I'll explain and I'll show you the video right now.
There's actually 6 rooms in this house, and in fact I could cram an infinite amount of space into any finite space.
So basically how he gets this done is he uses a bunch of seamless portals that make it seem like you're walking over the same spot twice, but really you're not. It's just teleportation. And I think this could be done in real time and the engine could actually recognize 2 layers of space. But just so if we're confused, let's go over it again with the beautiful MS Paint drawing. So he starts in the green, or maybe it's blue, I forget. And then he moves on to the orange, then on to purple, and then the gray, and then instead of moving back on the blue like it should be, he goes into green, and then into red. Okay, so really there's 6 rooms. We all have this visualization, right? After I watched this video, I was racking my brain trying to figure out like, oh, how could a computer recognize 2 layers of space? There's no way. And then my brain made this really funny connection to a Mario Kart Wii super shortcut video by Summoning Salt. And when he explains the checkpoint system from that game, I think it could maybe translate over. So get ready. You're about to get a degree in Mario Kart-ology. Okay, if you've seen the Summoning Salt video, you might be familiar with this already. My idea is to only load the rooms +1 and -1 of the player's position. And that way you could layer space on top of each other and still move through it. So let me just explain. So each checkpoint would take up the entire box. So this would be checkpoint 1, the entire box, checkpoint 2, 3, and 4. So because you're in 1, only room 2 would be loaded. When you move into room 2, 1 and 3 are loaded. Then 4 and 2 are loaded. Then once you get to 4, instead of loading room 1 or the blue room, you'd load the green room. Checkpoint 5, right? And then you'd have this room loaded as well. You can see where I'm going with this. So then when you move to this room, you'd have checkpoint, I think this was 4, you'd have 4 loaded and then 6. Basically, you could keep doing this over and over and over again until you're on checkpoint 100 and you have 101 in front of you and 99 behind you.
Infinite amount of space into any finite space.
One thing that's different from Code Parade's video is he travels the 6 squares and then he is immediately back in the room with a door leading out, which would mean there would have to be a door in room 1 and 2. Not only is this totally impossible without teleportation, but once you have more than one entrance and exit, things totally just break. This leads to an order of operations of how you have to design spaces like this, as each room needs the context of the room before it to be able to comprehend its own existence. Which is precisely why I think this way of layering the space would lend itself to a Minecraft tunneling mod perfectly, because you're already making the space as you go. And not to mention Minecraft already works in voxels, so the game doesn't give a shit about anything that's going on behind you, it only cares about what you're looking at in the moment. You could just have massive cave systems that would sprawl and tangle over places you've already mined before, and secret rooms that are 1 block wide, or you go around 1 pillar and there's a whole new room to the other side of it. I just want to live in a world where I'm playing Minecraft and the guy's like, bro, drop your cord. What's your W cord? It says I'm standing right on you. We're actually standing in the same spot, but we're in different layers. So then I have to like mine my. I mean, I'd have to follow his same path because I can't just mine to where he is, because that would create like a new instance of it and like another layer. I don't know, man. 2 names picked out for this mod. The first one being Stratum, kind of a grand Latin name, with iter meaning journey or pathway, and stratum meaning layer. So it's got a nice ring to it, Stratum. The second one would just be Tunneler's Fever Dream, because it would be really boring, and it'd be kind of like Tunneler's Dream. This method would also work when designing virtual spaces, as not only would firms get more space out of their already expensive plots, but consumers would benefit as stores can be more tightly packed together and more efficient when traveling down streets. Or like a hallway, it doesn't have to be a street. If it's unclear what I'm implying, I basically want to turn every virtual building into the Doctor Who police box. Large space on the inside, teeny tiny facade outside. Say our diagram is now the hallway of an apartment complex. With each zone connected to a room, we can now infinitely spiral and cram rooms on top of each other. Okay, but servers are still a finite resource, and realistically every virtual coffee shop can't just be the size of IKEA inside. I think this would be just plumb fantastic if we treated it like major cities' skyscraper air rights. Say that coffee shop is perfectly fine with the space on its given plot. It could either double back on itself, making a second layer with more space, or it could sell its second layer to the store next to it for them to expand into. This would create a pseudo-organic way to how a building is designed, as you would need to adapt the floor plan based on what space is acquired.
Euclidean. Euclidean.